So measures of variability. So variability has different types, di ba? Meron tayong variance, standard deviation, meron tayong interquartile, meron din tayong range, may semi-interquartile, ayan, yung mga variance o yung layo or spread of scores. So when we define variability, it provides a quantitative measure. Yan, teka, gamitan natin ng highlighter. Okay, red ang gagamitin ko. Yan. It provides a quantitative measure of the degree to which scores in a distribution are being spread or clustered together. Ibig sabihin, paano siya, yung layo ng scores ng participants nyo or dispersion ng sagot ng participants nyo. So it refers to how spread out of a group or a group of data is, and in other words, variability measures how much your scores differ from each other. So variability is also referred to as dispersion or spread of scores. Data sets with similar values are said to have little variability, and then while data sets that have values that are spread out have high variability. So ibig sabihin, if your variability has small number, halimbawa around 0.56, 0.58, kunwari 0.59, ang iyong variability or variance o ang inyong standard deviation, o kaya 0.35, it means the smaller the value of your variance or standard deviation, the similar the values na present ng iyong participants. More likely, ang kanilang mga sagot ay hindi nagkakalayo-layo. Pero kapag high variability naman, halimbawa 3.56 o kaya yung mga tipong 4.5, 4.50 kasi lagi tayong 2 decimal places, the higher the variability, the values are spread out or magkakalayo-layo. Kadalasan, yung mga similar values na to, makikita mo sa yung mga survey na pinapasagot natin sa mga participants natin or respondents. So halos magkakalapit-lapit lang naman yan kasi 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ang high variability, mapapansin natin to sa mga scores or sa mga exam scores. Makikita mo yung layo ng bawat sagot o yung bawat scores ng mga estudyante, lalo na kung medyo mahirap yung tinatawag na exam. Ayan. So doon madalas nakikita yung high variability. So the bigger the value of the variability, the bigger the spread or mas magkakalayo-layo yung kanilang mga scores. While the smaller the value of the variability like variance or standard deviation, the similar the values na nilagay ng respondents ninyo. So that's variability. Ngayon, let's examine the two figures. So what ano ang masasabi ninyo sa figure A and figure B? Sige. This green and the figure B is itong violet. Ano masasabi ninyo? Although obvious naman na siya. So, sige. Analyze na lang. What can you say about the figures? So, more likely, if these are scores, imagine nyo may scores yan, di ba? Kunwari, di ba scores natin? So, halimbawa dito, meron tayong mean dito, yung integers, kunwari, 0 o 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, negative 5, yan. So, kung mapapansin niyo kung dito tayo sa A, magkakalapit lang yung values, tama. So, smaller variability lang yan. Dito, magkakalayo yung values niyan. Halimbawa, pwede ang sagot nito 5, pwede dito 2, 1, o kaya 9. Yun, yung magkakalayo sila. So, mas spread yung kanyang values sa B. So, ibig sabihin, through figure pala, makapapansin na natin kung sino yung may higher variability sa smaller variability. Ayan, so data set B is wider and more spread, kung mapapansin ninyo, out than the data set A. So, this indicates that the data set B or the figure B has more variability. So, through figure pala, mapapansin nyo na yung higher variability sa smaller variability. Pero syempre, since statistics tayo, we have to compute, of course, the numerical value of this higher and then smaller variability. So, meron tayong iba't ibang variability. So, variability is defined now in terms of its distance. It tells how much distance to expect between one score and another, or how much distance to expect between an individual score and then the mean. So, ang laging basis natin, kadalasan yung mean. Anyway, ipapakita ko naman sa inyo ang interpretation once na makapag-compute na tayo ng mga variability. Okay, so the first variability is range. So the range is the simplest measure of variability kasi madali lang naman siyang computein. So what you're going to do is just to take the smallest number from the data set, and then you are going to subtract it from the largest number to calculate the range. So the difference of smallest to largest number would be the range. So this shows this, that the spread of our data, the range is sensitive to outliers or values that are significantly higher or lower than the rest of the data set and should not be used when outliers are present. So ang range, ginagamit lang siya kapag walang outliers. Pag sinabi nating outliers, wala yung parang mga hindi maayos yung pagkakasagot or medyo malayo na talaga yung kanilang number or yung kanilang scores. So, ang range ginagamit lang pag medyo hindi naman ganun kalaki yung parang biggest number so smallest number. Okay. So, dito, we are going to calculate the range for midterm exam. So, this is the midterm exam. Ito yung dataset. So, ito lang yung tignan ninyo. Kung mapapansin nyo, we have student 1 to 3 hanggang 13. So, sa midterm score nila, they have 71, 90, 100, 75, 55, 52, 100, 90, 85, 81, 83, 99, and then 89. So, these are the dataset for the 13 students. So since the range is equal to the highest midterm grade minus the lowest midterm grade, sabihin, highest grade minus lowest grade yan, or lowest score kung tawagin. We can easily find the range for this data set. So given that 100 lang naman ang pinakamataas, so we assume, or hindi naman assume, so we can use 100 as the highest midterm grade. And then as we can see, dahil meron naman ng set, yan. So, 52 ang pinakamaliit or lowest or smallest value. So, our lowest midterm grade naman would be the 52. Yan, 52 and then 100. 52 and then 52 and then 100. So, we find that the range is equal to 100 minus 52 kasi ang formula lang naman niya is higher. So, yung highest na grade or score minus lowest grade. Yan. So, 100 minus 52 is equal to 48. So, the range now is 48. Yan. Ganyan lang naman siya pag range. Okay? That's why we have the 48 range. Okay? Sige. So, after the range, we have the interquartile range. So, saan ginagamit ngayon ang interquartile range? So, what measure of variability can we use when working with sets of data that contain outliers? Again, yung outliers, ito yung mga scores na medyo malalayo talaga sa isa't isa. Ibig sabihin, medyo nasa higher, or kung nasa norm line, nasa mismong bell curve yan, nasa above average or below average, na hindi magkakalapit sa mismong mean. Yan. So one solution is we are going to compute the interquartile range. So the IQR or the middle 50 is the range for the middle 50% of the data. Doon makukuha natin yung range. Pero ang tawag na natin is the interquartile range or IQR. So the IQR only considers middle values. So it is not affected by the outliers. Kaya ang kukunin natin is yung parang middle 50. So yun yung IQR. Ngayon, ang formula ni IQR is quartile 3 minus quartile 1. Pero kailangan muna nating makompute yung median, yung quartile 3, tsaka yung quartile 1. Okay, so we are going to compute the IQR of the given data for the midterm exam. So yung midterm ay ito pa rin yung dataset na gagamitin natin. Okay, so this is the midterm set. So same lang din naman. Unang gagawin natin, we are going to list the data in numerical order or in ascending order. So listing the data in numerical order is necessary for finding the range and median. So it is ascending order. Ibig sabihin smallest to highest score yung gagawin nating chronological order. So since dito, sa midterm, kung mapapansin nyo, hindi siya sunod-sunod, di ba? So, ang gagawin natin, i-ascending order natin yan. So, since 52 is the lowest, so, iyan. 52, 55, 71, 75, 81, 83, 85, 89, 90, 90, 99, 100, 100. So, lahat ng data ay nandito lang. I-ascending order lang. So number 2, we are going to find the median. Kapag yung ating set of data ay naka-odd number, madali lang hanapin si median. Kasi usually, the median is the middle value that cuts the data into half. For example, kung 30 ng ating data, the median is in the number or the seventh number or seventh place. Diba? 2, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6. Kaya ang ating middle or median is 85. Pero kapag ang inyong set data ay siya ay even data, halimbawa 14, 18, 20, basta siya ay naka-even data, ang gagawin lang natin ay yung two middle values, yun ay ating i-add and then kukunin natin yung average nun. Then that would be the median. Yun. So tulad lang ng ginawa natin sa central tendencies, basta even data, yung dalawang value na nasa gitna, i-add natin and then i-divide natin sa 2, then yun na yung median niya. So more likely magiging percentage yun or depende sa data. Ayan. So this is the median. So the seventh place in the odd number or in the 13 data or set of data. Ayan. Ngayon, we're going to place brackets around the numbers above and below the median. So above, this is the above, this is the below, but not around the median. So this is the median, remember. So the brackets will separate the median from quartile 1 and quartile 3. So for the midterm grades, our data will look like this. So given na ascending order natin yan at nahanap na natin yung ating median, lagyan natin ng bracket. So this is the below the median. So the quartile 1 is the 52 up to 83. Then the quartile 3 now is the 89 to 100. Okay. So locate now the quartiles. For the midterm grades, our quartile 1 is 52, 55, 71, 75, 81, 83. And then our quartile 3 is 89, 90, 90, 99, 100, 100. So we are going to find now the median of our data in quartile 1. So dito, hahanapan ulit natin ng median. We've got an even number kung mapapansin niyo kasi 6 data set naman ang nakahiwalay sa quartile 1 and quartile 3. So our median will be the average of the middle two numbers. In other words, we are going to add these two, 71 and 75. Sige, gamitan natin ng calculator. 71 plus 75, divide nyo sa 2. So our median ng quartile 1 is 73. So our quartile 1 median is 73. Ayan. So ang next na natin is quartile 3. So given again na ang ating quartile 1 ay 52 to 83 at ang ating quartile 3 is 89 to 100, we're going naman to find the median of our data in quartile 3. To find the median, repeat what was done for quartile 1 but with the values naman ng quartile 3. So we can find the quartile 3 is 94.5. So ito ang ating dalawang data na nasa middle. So, i-add lang natin siya. 90 plus 99, di-divide natin sa 2. Kaya nakuha ang 94.5. So, our quartile 3 median is 94.5. Remember, the IQR formula is quartile 3 minus quartile 1. So, itatranspose lang natin yan or, ayan. So, IQR is equals to 94.5 minus 73 equals 21.5. So, the IQR now is 21.5. Yan lang naman, IQR is 21.5. Median the quartile 1, quartile 3, and then the IQR of this data set. So, range 100 minus 69, median 88. Quartile 1, 69, 72. So, yung dalawa na yan, 79. Ito. And then, minus na lang. So, 90 ng ating IQR. Ngayon, meron tayong semi-interquartile range. So, ang semi-interquartile range ay i-divide mo lang sa 2 yung IQR. So, in order for us to get the semi-interquartile range, so Q3 or quartile 3 minus quartile 1 divided by 2, yun ay sagot niya. So, for the variance, so the variance is a measure of how close the scores in the dataset R to the mean, and then the variance is mainly used to calculate the standard deviation and other statistics. So we have 4 steps to calculate the variance. Okay, so if we conceptualize the spread of distribution as the extent to which the values in the distribution differ from the mean and from each other, then a reasonable measure of spread might be the average deviation or difference of the values from the mean. So this is now the summation of score minus mean over the population. So remember, we have two kinds of variance. We have the population. Kapag big N, it is population variance. Kapag small n naman, ay sorry, ganun. At kapag small n naman, ito ay sample. Ngayon, we have two different version ng formula sa variance. So, magkakatalo lang naman ito sa denominator. Kapag ang given ay n na malaki, it means we are going to use the formula ng variance na population variance, which is over big N. Kapag naman sample ang nakita nyo or small letter n ang ginamit, ang ating formula dyan ay magiging ganito. Same lang naman sa taas, summation lang din siya ng score minus the mean, pero ang kanyang denominator ay n minus 1. So magma-minus 1 tayo. So makikita nyo kapag big N yung nakalagay, population variance ang gagamitin. So ito yung formula niya. Kapag naman sample at nakita nyo na small n, means sample nga, so ang kanyang denominator ay n minus 1. So same lang naman yung taas, summation lang din siya ng score minus mean, pero n minus 1 or over n minus 1. Okay. So although this might seem reasonable, this expression always equals to 0 because the negative deviation about the mean always cancel out the positive deviation kasi kinukuha natin yung sum of the squares nung ating minus na mean minus score. So we could just drop the negative signs, which is the same mathematically as taking the absolute value, which is known as the means deviation. So the concept of absolute value does not lend to itself to kind of advanced mathematical manipulation and necessary for the development of inferential stats formula. So the average of the square deviation about the mean is called, or what we call, the variance. So pag population variance, remember, pag big N, ito yung formula na gagamitin. Kapag naman sample variance, makikita nyo doon small n, n minus 1. Yan. Okay, so halimbawa, ang given na data set ko, yung n niya ay malaki. So, ang gagamitin yung formula is yung over big N. Hindi mo yung minus 1. Pero pag small n, n minus 1. Okay? Let's try the data. Okay, we have the set of scores here. So, 5 set. So, more likely, dahil population variance yan, assume natin na n ay ganyan. So, big N. So, we have 5 population here or respondents. Ang score natin, ito. Ang score, it represents X. Ang mean, it represents na ganito. Ayan. Okay. So, ganyan yung mean. Erase natin ito. So, we have scores 3, 5, 7, 10, 10. So, kapag inad natin yan, makukuha natin ang summation na 35. So, kailangan natin makuha muna yung mean o yung X bar. So, ang mean natin, 35 divided by 5, kasi ang ating population is 5, we will have 7. So, that's the mean. Ngayon, ang sabi dito, score minus mean. So, yung score natin dito is 3, minus natin sa 7, ano ang magiging sagot niya? Remember yun sa integers. So, kung maliit yung score, mas malaki yung ano. So, negative 4. Correct, negative 4. So, 5 yung ating score dito, minus 7. Ano answer? 5 minus 7. Okay, very good. Negative 2. 7 minus 7.
0.
0. Okay. Teka, alam naman ng 10 minus 7. Yan. 3 lang naman yan. 10 minus 7. 3. Kung mapapansin nyo, alam ko 0 ang kakalabasan. Zero naman talaga. Kasi, kaya natin siya ini-square para hindi mag-zero yan. At saka para ma-eliminate natin yung negative sign. So, kung mapapansin nyo, negative 4 plus negative 2 equals negative 6. Plus 0 plus, plus positive 3 magiging negative 3 plus positive 3, 0. Yan. Yung 0 ang kanyang ano dito. Kaya ang gagawin natin, we have to square yung mga difference nung nandito. So, yung negative 4, pag in-square natin, ano ang sagot?
16.
Positive 16.
Correct, 16. Negative 2 squared
4.
4. Ito, 0 lang naman lagi yan. 3 squared
9.
And then 3 squared 9. Pag inad nyo, ilan to? Sige nga.
38.
38. Okay, sige, check natin. Plus 4 plus 9 plus 9. Good, 38. So, ang ating sum of squares is 38. Ayan. Pakita ko lang dito. Ayan. So, same lang din naman. Minanual lang natin. 0 din lalabas dyan. And then, yung next natin. So, now we are going to square each of the values so that you now have all the positive values. So, kaya tayo nag-i-square ay para ma-eliminate natin yung negative values. Ang tawag natin dito is sum of squares. Itong score minus x bar or mean squared. So, we have the SS here or summation ng ating sum of squares na 38. So, going back sa ating formula, ang ating gamit, wait lang, big N dapat to, hindi small n. Bakit small n to? Big N yan. Ayan, okay. So, ang ating formula sa ating population variance is summation ng ating score minus x bar or mean squared or sum of square. So, ang ating sum of square dito is 38. Yan, 38. Divided by 5 dahil ang ating n ay 5. Ang makukuha nating variance is 7.6. Natin, kung sasabihin natin na ito naman ay sample, yan, small n. So, ang ating summation ng sum of squares natin ay 38 pa rin. So, over n minus 1. So, 5 minus 1 lang yan. 5 minus 1. So, ibig sabihin ng n, nagbabari naman yan. So, 5 minus 1. Kaya, 38 divided 5/4 is 9.5 kapag sample ang variance. Ang standard deviation ay more likely, okay, so the reason we use the n-1 rather n only is so that the sample variance will be what is called an unbiased estimator of the population. Kaya mina-minus natin yun. Yan. Okay, so to be able to complete the standard deviation naman, the square root of the variance is known as the standard deviation. So in short, square root lang natin yung variance. So like the variance, the standard deviation measures how close the scores in the data set are to the mean. However, the standard deviation is measured in the exact same unit as the data. So in short, the standard deviation is just the square root of the variance. So halimbawa, yung variance mo, kung population man yan o kaya sample variance, pag in-square root mo yan, ang lalabas is 2.76. kung ito ay population variance ang ginamit. Yan. So, 7.6 square root lang 2.76. Kapag sample variance naman ang ginamit, square root mo lang din to. So, ang standard deviation natin is 3.08. Okay.